Juan Pujol Garcia was born in Barcelona in 1914. He grew up in a world on the brink of chaos, a background that would eventually shape his hatred for extremism. The Spanish Civil War was his crucible. He saw the brutality of both sides and decided he wanted to contribute to the good of humanity by fighting for democracy. Before he was a legend, he was a failure. He failed at boarding school, failed at running a chicken farm, and failed in the cinema business. During the war, he managed the rare distinction of deserting both sides without firing a single meaningful shot. To the world, he was useless. In 1940, he offered to spy for Britain. They saw a man with no training and no value. They rejected him, not once, but 3 times. Most would have quit. Juan decided to escalate. If Britain wouldn't hire him, he would convince Germany to hire him to spy on Britain. He posed as a pro-Nazi official and approached German intelligence. They accepted him, giving him training, money, and the code name Alaric. He was ordered to England, but he never went. He didn't speak a word of English. Instead, he stayed in Lisbon and began his greatest performance. Using guidebooks, maps, and newsreels, he fabricated a reality. He described pubs, troop movements, and morale, all from a hotel room in Portugal. He made mistakes. He once claimed an agent in Glasgow would do anything for a liter of wine, unaware that Scotland didn't use the metric system. When handlers questioned the errors, he blamed his imaginary sub-agents. He called them unreliable or drunk. The Germans believed every word. He didn't just invent reports, he invented a family. 27 fictional agents, each with a full biography, personality, and political leaning. British intelligence caught wind of his reports through ultra-intercepts. They were baffled. Who was this master spy operating inside London? They traced it to Pujol. Instead of arresting him, they recognized a genius. They brought him to London and gave him a new name, Garbo. He was paired with handler Thomas Harris. Together, they expanded the fiction into a masterpiece of strategic deception. His first major test was Operation Torch. He sent reports that were intentionally delayed, arriving just late enough to be useless but building immense trust. By 1944, he was the center of Operation Bodyguard. The goal: convince Hitler that D-Day would happen at Calais, not Normandy. A phantom army was created, the first U.S. Army group. Inflatable tanks and fake radio traffic supported the illusion Garbo was building. The deception was so complete that the Germans believed Patton himself was leading the strike on Calais. Garbo's reports were the proof they needed. On June 6, 1944, the world changed. But for Garbo, the real mission was just beginning. He had to convince Hitler it was a diversion. 3 days later, he sent his most critical message. The Normandy invasion was a feint. The real attack was still coming at Calais. Hitler believed him. 7 armored divisions were held back at Calais, waiting for an attack that would never come. Normandy was saved. For his loyalty to the Reich, Hitler awarded him the Iron Cross. He is likely the only man to be decorated by both sides of the war. Months later, King George VI awarded him the MBE. The failed chicken farmer had become one of the most effective weapons in the Allied arsenal. After the war, he feared Nazi revenge. With MI5's help, he faked his death from malaria in 1949. He vanished into thin air. He traveled to Angola, then to Venezuela. For decades, the man who saved D-Day lived as a ghost in South America. In Lagunillas, he ran a gift shop called La Casa del Regalo. He taught English to oil employees, a simple life for a man of shadows. In 1984, a journalist finally found him. The secret was out. The world learned that the legend of Garbo was real. He returned to Normandy for the 40th anniversary. Veterans who had survived the beaches shook his hand, unaware he was the reason they were alive. He was received at Buckingham Palace by Prince Philip, a final validation for a man who had changed the trajectory of a global war. He passed away in Caracas in 1988. His life was a testament to the power of imagination and the courage to outwit an empire. History celebrates generals and armies, but sometimes history is rewritten by a man in a hotel room with a guidebook and a vision.